All right. So I wanted to, in this video, just kind of paint a picture of what it's going to be like to work with your coach. And I'm going to use a part of the process that's fairly simple. A lot of people don't think it is, but to illustrate that. And it's making your hit list of companies. So a lot of times when people are new, first of all, the very first thing a coach is always going to do, they're always going to determine this is exactly the right next step, and here's how to do it. So let's say the coach asks you, how's your list of companies coming along? And you're like, well, I think these 4 or 5 companies are good. And this happens all the time, guys. And the coach is like, well, yeah, I think those 4 or 5 companies are great, but I think you have 20 or 30. Because they get to know you and your project really well. And so when they have that insight into fully understanding your project, and they can say something like that, and I'm just using the list of companies as an example, it might be any part of the process. Yeah, those lists of 4 or 5 are great, but you can have 20 or 30. If you look here, here, and here in this way, you'll have 20 or 30. That is huge. And that is the biggest benefit a coach can offer you. A book or a video, you can't ask it a question. It definitely won't analyze your project and say, this is the right next thing to do, and here's exactly how to do it.
Well, Andrew, what I love about this is because the coach is helping you identify that right company and making that large list. That's one of the reasons why our students are so successful, is that they call, they reach out, they deliver that package to all those companies.
Yeah.
That increases your chances of success.
But again, this video is not just about making your hit list of companies. I want to use this to illustrate how you're going to be working with your coach. Okay, so now your coach has given you some very specific information about how to move forward on this step. In this instance, it's making your hit list of companies. They're going to say, hey, why don't you watch a video Andrew, that's me, the co-founder, did, called How to Make Your Hit List of Companies. It's a 1-hour video, and you'll see me surfing the net. And so you don't want your poor coach to have to talk for an hour on something that's really clearly explained. They're to give you very, very specific advice on that particular project. So you're going to watch that video, or maybe 2, and you don't mind doing it because you're going to be doing that step the next day or the next week at the very latest, right? Okay, so now you're going to do the work. And making your hit list of companies can be kind of time consuming, but you got to keep it in perspective. It's 1,000th the work of running a business. So it might take you 2 to 8 hours to make that list. You're going to do that work on your own time. You're going to figure out what time you have Thursday nights or Saturday mornings or whenever. Then you're going to go on your coach's calendar. You do not need to play phone or email tag with us to get an appointment. You're going to simply go onto their online calendar. You're going to see their available times in your time. You don't have to do time zone conversion, no email, phone tag to get an appointment. You're going to pick that time with your coach, and your coach is going to call you at that time. And you should actually think ahead a little bit. Go, I think I'm going to get my list of companies done in 4 days or whatever it is you're doing. I'm going to go online and book now. So you never need to wait. We're never going to be your bottleneck, okay? So then your coach is going to call you at that time, and they're going to go over whatever it is that you did. And it might be 50% or 80% there or whatever, but they're going to help you bring it up to 100%. Of course, they're not going to give you percentages. But let's say you come back and you have 19 companies. They're like, wow, 19 companies, that's 19 chances for success. I love it. It's so much better than 4. But I still think you can have another 7 or 8. And remember I explained to you before, and they go into more explanation. This is how I think you can have more in this area. And you're like, you explained that to me before, but I didn't quite get it. So what I'm trying to explain to you here is that you can come back with something half done, 80% done. You gave it your best shot. Your coach is going to get you tweaked in. It doesn't have to be 100%. You want the companies to see 100%, but your coach doesn't have to be. So you're like, I do remember that. I did see some in that area. I do think I can have 7 or 8 more. Then you're going to go off, do the 7 or 8 more. But before you get off, your coach is going to be like, well, let's cover your next step. And they're going to give you your next step as well. So it's going to be basically that. It's back and forth, you and your coach, watching key videos on the website and taking action. And so this is what every inventor needs, Stephen, and no inventor has. This kind of structure.
Yeah, what I like about this is that you have a one-on-one coach. And they're going to give you that type of attention that you need. And because they have done it, they do it every day with other students, they do it every day with their own projects, they understand this process so well that they can see beyond where you're just digging at first. They can see way, way beyond that and bring you that knowledge, so for you to dig a little bit deeper and set up that next appointment with the right information. Andrew, I can tell you right now, we all need at times someone to help us along. right?
Yeah.
Extra pair of
Yeah.
eyes. We need that personal coaching, and that's why I'm so excited that the students move so quickly. That to me is amazing, because
Well,
when I call those students later, they've already gone through the steps because they're working those steps with their coaches.
Right, right. And so, long and short of it, the core benefit here is on your very first project, you're acting like somebody that's been doing this a decade. Now, on the backside, you won't feel like you've been doing it a decade. First time out, it's all kind of a little more unfamiliar. Second project, 2 to 10 times faster. But the companies will perceive you that way. And it's okay if things aren't done perfect. You're checking with your coach to help you bring it up to 100% off to the next step, and on and on. And so instead of just focusing on patents and prototypes or whatever you've been focusing on before, now you're taking action, you're getting in front of companies. Things can happen with this approach. It's the only thing that works. It really is.
And what I love about it, the coaches are there to get you in the game as fast as we can, and making sure everything is done right. Mm-hmm. And with that type of approach, you working with your coach one-on-one, things get done and you're in the game quick. It does work.
Well, and it's always the same coach, Stephen. So it's the same person. You're on a first name basis. I mean, the coaches make notes, but you just say the name of your product. They remember everything they ever told you. It's very easy for them because they do this all day long, every day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're just really, really good at it. So hopefully that gives you some insight into how you're going to be working with your coach and the real value that we're bringing to you. So you have a sense of confidence moving forward, Stephen.
One thing I do like, and I want everybody, and I share this with everybody, that's your coach is your one-on-one personal coach, right? And if they ever see a problem they're not familiar with, they're going to ask another coach. They might ask Andrew. They might ask myself. And I can guarantee that if there's a question that they're not quite sure about, they're going to get the answer from one of us, because we've been doing this for over 15 years. And of course, I've been doing it for over 30. So you've got this team behind you. I know it's your coach, but behind your coach are other coaches as well. That's why this system works.
Excellent. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you haven't watched some of the other videos, make sure to watch them. We'll give you a really clear understanding of how we can help you. Thank you.